Life's too short to drive boring cars. Do you find there's times you're driving down the road and you just spot that car off in the distance and you see, man, is that thing ever pretty? And you're thinking to yourself, boy, I'd love to have one of those. Those are great. I wonder how much they cost. That is literally some of the best looking vehicles I've ever seen in my life. Yes, we all have those moments. I've had those moments. But counter to the video I made recently, which I talked about some of the ugliest vehicles on the market today, let's talk about actually some of my favorite best looking vehicles on the market today. And I know you'll agree with most of them, but if you don't, I'd love to hear it in the comments section below. Please drop a line what vehicle you think is your favorite or best looking. But let's talk about the 5 best looking vehicles on the market in my opinion. Let's just get into it now. So one of my favorites, and not necessarily in this order, is what's behind me here, the Porsche 911, specifically the turbo with the wide flares. And Porsche's been legendary. The style hasn't changed a lot from back in the 60s, and their old adage is, why fix what's not broken? In terms of styling, all they do is continually develop and build and make the cars better and better, but in small incremental steps. But it's the Porsche 911 and the design elements and the themes why I think these cars are some of the most attractive cars on the market today. The 911 in general is a gorgeous car. I mean, they've always had these big, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed headlights. Of course, you've got a low front schnoz on the front. They've always got oversized wheels for the respective year. Beautiful mirrors on these latest turbos. And the turbo has these wonderful vents to allow air into the engine to help it cool it as well as breathing air. Beautiful front end, very recognizable by any stretch of the imagination. Of course, as we cycle around, what you'll notice is most turbos have large brakes, and this one's no different. Cross-drilled, ventilated, and the oversized caliper. Beautiful little rocker panels along the side. And specifically to the turbo, you get these jumbo flares that make it look absolutely menacing, very aggressive, and easily recognized down the road. You've got lots of great exhaust tips, usually with most Porsches. And here we have the Porsche 911 Turbo, which also coincidentally has a big wing on the back. And I love that style. I love even the turbo wing. Some of these winged demon cars are absolutely menacing and beautiful. You'll notice there's no sunroof here. Often they're providing cars with no sunroofs because people like the lower center of gravity and often uncheck the box when they're buying a new 911 to keep that weight down. Adding sunroof adds weight. And these Porsches all range from rear-wheel drive because there's a rear differential up to all-wheel drive, electronically connected. For example, like this, we have a Targa 4S. That also means that it's got the all-wheel drive system going on there. Here we have a Porsche 911, standard fare, rear-wheel drive only. And the next car on my list that's just so demon-like that I love it just because of that, it's this beautiful car right here. We're talking about the Shelby GT500. Not so much the 350, because the 350 is a great car, but it's naturally aspirated 550 horse. You can still stir the gears, but this car here takes it all to another level. I love the looks of this car. Every single element and component on the GT500 raises the whole bar for muscle cars in the current era. Take a look. So from a distance, there's no doubt this car is absolutely menacing and aggressive. Clearly, from a muscle car standpoint in the modern days, this car has everything it needs to be not only punishing to other cars that try to race against it, but also gives it that general look that is just stunning. I mean, look at that front grille. We've got the big Super Snake on there. Of course, we're talking about a Shelby, and it's a GT500, as I already mentioned. Look at the flares. They actually add a wider flare here on the front. And as you cycle to the back, you'll notice you got big flare here as well. And they have a fully adjustable rear wing that's entirely made out of carbon fiber. What an absolutely gorgeous finish. Don't forget, carbon fiber wheels on this car tucked in front of a set of Brembo brakes. Make sure that this car not only looks great, but goes great too. Beautiful rockers, absolutely gorgeous. Lowrider for sure, more carbon fiber. And that snarly looking headlight assembly makes it look like it's wincing at you with that aggressive, angry look. Absolutely menacing car. How about that bulbous hood right there? Yes, that's to support the supercharger. There's a massive supercharger under the hood, injecting air at a high velocity into that big V8 engine, helping it create 760 horsepower. All this is mated to a double clutch transmission, means that not only does it have the giddy up and go, time between shifts is almost null and void. Here you got the potential tie downs, or at least certainly the design for it. Great little mirrors, fairly standard fare. Keyless. Beautiful third brake light there. And then on the back, you've got this massive pipes on both sides of the rear end. Massive rear diffuser back here. And again, another symbol for the big snake. The rest of this is pretty standard Mustang GT fare. But again, looking at it from back here, it looks absolutely wide and aggressive. Can't forget about these shrouds that travel all the way up to the rear wheels and help fill in that look. You'll notice the wheels are absolutely almost flush with the fenders. The fenders are almost rolled. And the interior is literally made for performance driving with aggressively deeply bolstered seats. Now, most people know me, and I love European exotics, I love European cars, but it doesn't matter when you're this good. This literally makes one of my list of the best looking modern day cars. So yes, we know reliability is important, value for your money is important, but there's a time when the fun factor is equally important. And that's why these are especially valuable cars in my book, and we're talking about the F-Type Jaguar, which is clearly one of the best looking cars on the road today. Beautiful. Here we have the S, which means it's the V6 version, which has just under 400 horsepower. Here is the older style headlight. We've got the projector lamp right there. And you can tell the more vertical vents on the front means this is the older car. Doesn't matter, they're all gorgeous vehicles. Right there, we've got the chrome Jaguar there, fold-away mirrors, and the fold-away flush-mounted door handles. This is convertible, of course. You can get it in the coupe form as well. And with the coupe, you can get either the painted roof, the carbon fiber roof, or the clear glass roof. Here we have a beautiful rear wing that pops up at about 120 kilometers an hour and drops back down at about 80. Rear LED taillights, dual center mounted megaphones. With the V6, the V8 allows you to have quad pipes. And of course, you can't forget about the flared look of these F-Types. They absolutely look stunning with the big bulbous rear fenders on there. Beautiful wheels, the big nostrils on the hood, and kitty cat. Now in the F-Types, as I said, you can get the V6 in a couple different formats. You can get a 4-cylinder turbo as well that makes about 300 horse. But my personal favorite is the F-Type R, which has the supercharged V8 5 liters and actually makes about 550 horse or 575 in the SVR format. And it's coupled up to an 8-speed ZF automatic transmission, which shifts almost as cleanly and quickly as a dual clutch transmission. And for those of you who actually really know me, then you'll know I'm not the biggest advocate for SUVs. I always prefer driving a car, but there is an SUV. If I had to get one, it'd definitely be the one that I'm about to speak of. Now, it's one of those vehicles that's almost one of those that's so ugly it's beautiful. And clearly it's seen some strong growth in values in the last couple years, some of which because it's a trendy type vehicle, often seen driven by rock stars, movie stars, sports players, and the like. But it's also relatively well built, and it's actually got a history of being in the military. And that vehicle is... it's the G-Wagon right here. Beautiful headlights. Look at the updated style of headlights on there. This vehicle is nicely bolstered, beautiful look. Very beefy looking front bumpers. Look at these beastie looking signal lights there. Of course, Mercedes all the way. And this is an AMG version. Now you go down the side, great little vents. This is the V8 twin turbo AMG version. Very robust style handles all the way across and a nice tough looking trim line there. Beautiful little extra spare wheel on the back with a strong stout holder. Not like you find the fabric junk you find on a Jeep. This is the G63 AMG top of the line vehicle right here. I love these SUVs. So ugly, they're beautiful. Beautiful Mercedes wheels. Look at the exhaust pipes that come out under the rockers. And you've got these beautiful mirrors. Functional, basic, but relatively well built. Now the roofline is very, very high. As you can see, it's a little bit higher than my head height, but the doors are very high, so it's easy to get in and out of. It's a very utilitarian-based vehicle. Access is all about quick in and out. Look at the gorgeous interior in there. Q-stitching, all the latest amenities and technology that you're finding in current modern Mercedes-Benz vehicles. Fat tires, trailer hitch, easy access in the rear. And it's really a vehicle that's meant to go anywhere, do anything. It's got mechanical technology that allows this vehicle to be used off-road. It's literally one of the most capable vehicles on the market today. It's robust, it's well built, and again, very, very powerful. It also carries that 3-pointed star brand on it, makes it just an easy vehicle to live with. It's going to last forever, and quite frankly, is one of the most attractive vehicles, in my opinion, on the road today. Now when I see this next vehicle, the first thing that comes to mind is life's too short to drive boring cars, so why not go out there and enjoy some of it some of the time? This is a great example of one of those cars that you may want to consider buying or investing in, especially since they're still available. After all, once we go pure electric, these kind of cars might just go away. These are absolutely stunning. I love the Lexus LC 500 here. We'll talk about a few of the specs, but let's do a little walk around first. Beautiful headlights. Look at all that delicacy in here with all these little fittings and parts. Gorgeous. How about those beautiful 21-inch wheels? That's bigger than you're finding on most Ferraris these days. Right there, you've got this beautiful mirror. Love the LC mirror on these. Of course, you have the coupe, which has this carbon fiber roof. Absolutely gorgeous. Much prettier in the coupe version than it is in the convertible. But then you get the back look here as well. Very, very strong. You've got the quad exhaust tips in there, but they just blend it with one big fitting on either side. Still gorgeous with that chrome accent. Beautiful taillights. As you can see, they're not illuminated right now. That is an LED style. I love that overhang there. Gorgeous. Of course, here you've got that little vent on the rear corner, and it just flares right out, and that's just a nice way to finish that off with a little touch of aggression. You'll see some great lines along here. Beautiful. We look to the front, and along the hood, of course, we see more accent lines on the hood. Accentuates the overall look of the vehicle. It all flows nicely up to the roofline. Here again, it's the oversized grille, and I don't care if it's a Lexus grille. The rest of this vehicle is so pretty that it really doesn't even matter about the grille too much. You'd barely even notice it, to be honest. And quite frankly, the interior on this vehicle looks even better well made than a lot of German cars. Extremely well put together, contrast stitching, high quality leather throughout, absolutely gorgeous vehicle. It even has the Jaguar F-Type style flushed handles that pop out. And the beauty is they're not a slouch either. They sound great. You've got the 5-liter V8 by Lexus, or Toyota if you will. It makes approximately 471 horsepower, and it's made it up to a 10-speed, that count it, 10-speed automatic transmission. In a world of all these CVT garbage transmissions, this still actually has a real transmission underneath the skin. Beautiful vehicle, 0 to 60, 5 seconds flat, absolutely wonderful, easy on the eyes, and quite frankly, it's gonna last as long as you, it'll probably, to be honest, it's probably gonna outlast us. These things will run forever. Gorgeous, wonderful profile, and on top of that, and with all of that said, right there, the worst, ugliest vehicles on the market today. You're definitely going to want to check it out. Pretty fun. Hope to see you real soon. Catch you then. Bye-bye.